Morning. I tried to get a video out yesterday, but I was too tired and my allergies were wreaking havoc. They're a little bit better today, but my eyes are still watering and I'm still congested if you can't tell. So I've been busy this morning hoeing out potatoes before the rain. It's starting to come in. I know that we're expecting some torrential downpours. Thankfully, we have not got our garden out yet. Earlier in the late winter, early spring, I was telling Vance it'll probably be the second week into the third week of May before we were going to get our garden out. A lot of times I guess I go off gut instinct sometimes, and just what the weather is doing, the temperatures at night versus during the day, and things like that. And I think winter has held on. It held on for quite a bit this year. So we will probably be doing that next week after this rain goes through. But I hustled out here to get my potatoes hoed out before the next few days because this will be a mud pit by the end of this weather system. I still have to, my onions are finally starting to come up. I didn't think they were, so I've got to do this as well. But I thought I'd hop on here and make a quick video. Again, I was going to make a video yesterday about this, but I did not feel like it, ran out of time, and the kids were exhausted, I was exhausted, and we just kind of took it easy yesterday. We didn't even do school. But anyway, I wanted to discuss some things that have come up lately somewhat in the news, some things that I've been hearing, and I think that we are gonna see food prices to continue to increase. And so last week I've been trying to make it a habit to go out and continue to stock up on my canned goods, box meals, things like that. Nothing special, nothing expensive, the generic brand. And I bought the same things that I did two months ago, and I actually spent double this time of what I did last time. And I was blown away. I was completely blown away by the cost increase of box meals and canned goods. Now, understand, I did not go someplace that, Kroger's has the 10 for 10, and which I highly suggest that you keep an eye on those sales. But here comes Vance. But Kroger's is like 35-40 minutes away from me, so the gas prices, I wouldn't be saving a whole lot if I chose to drive down there. Maybe he'll hoe out the onions for me after I did the 3 rows of potatoes. But I just wanted you to understand that if you're not going ahead and putting back, you need to start doing it now, because I see food prices increasing exponentially. I'm not making any predictions, just going off of what I've seen. And you want to join my video? Yeah. I'm worn out. But I was just talking about the price of food going up and things, and the email that I received from somebody talking about the problem with a few hatcheries with chicks. I guess there's some hatcheries that provide these chickens for some of these bigger companies, and their hatch rate is going down. The chicks that are hatching are...
So the specific numbers is that they said that out of 1 million fertilized eggs, only 730,000 are expected to hatch. And of those, only 700,000 are going to make it to harvest, which is a significant decrease from what they're used to seeing. And they also said that, so this would create a supply and demand issue, but furthermore, if you haven't watched or noticed, the price of cattle has gone through the roof, and it's stayed through the roof. And so whenever the price of beef is high, families will resort to the cheaper protein or meat, and it will increase the demand of the chicken and create this sort of vicious
Yeah.
circle.
And so these chicks that are surviving, they're not coming to weight like they normally do either. They're not growing out to the weight that these companies or hatcheries are used to seeing. So, and I want to caution too, because a lot of times we don't see the effect of this until later on. So we may not see these prices increase next month or the month after.
Yeah.
It'll be here in, several months later, I would think.
Yeah.
As the ripple effect takes place. So with that being said, my goal this year is to focus on canning as much meat as I can. Can.
Can what you can.
Can what I can. So that is my goal, is to can as much meat as I can, because I want to have that put back and put away. Families are already struggling right now to pay their grocery bills. Groceries have gone up, and like I told you, Comcast. There are certain people they're stopping paying and using things like TV, going to the coffee shop. Some of these things that I would consider frivolities that we don't need. They're realizing that food is more important than paying that bill. I think last week I saw a video that Comcast has lost thousands of some of their customers because people are, we've kind of already done that. We don't have a TV provider. And
yeah, I would say we've done similar. We've reduced, we've got internet, but that's because we don't keep local service and things like that. So we can stay in tune with that, but yeah, no TV service, no other services.
And
like
I wanted
that.
to, and I'm glad you came over here, because I think people are struggling right now financially, and both of us have been through difficult situations where we've had to cut the budget. We've been through a layoff. We've been through, having a baby during a layoff. And I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that we did during that time to help our household. Because unemployment, people are getting called off.
Well, guys, listen, you're going to have to be the wisdom for yourselves, but you're going to have to be the wisdom for your families and for your churches. I've sat on budget teams, various budget teams, and have been asked, do you even want to come? We kind of already know how you feel about things because, as I have told some, I said, some people have not eaten just bologna for the whole week. Some people haven't.
Butter and jelly
Some people haven't lived on peanut butter for a week.
Yeah.
And if you have, you're one of those people. This isn't scary. This is just
you do what you have to do, right?
You do what you know is coming, and you stock up on the things that'll keep. And this is why I say, none of these politicians, none of these economists, none of these people that are friends and that even are speaking honestly about our situation, they're not going to help you. You can open your eyes all you want, but
you
friends,
have to be intentional.
What's going to help you are potatoes. I've said that. Potatoes and beans, they literally do. This is what sustained the Irish and still often does. Sometimes with either slang or in derogatory ways you hear that. But it's true. But understand something. So there's costs, and you think, well, how do you cut costs? And that's going to be difficult because what you got to understand is that what you got? Coffee?
I got my coffee. Sorry.
Well, what are we doing here?
I'm walking over here so I can sit down.
Well, so
what are some things that we did? So
here's something I wanted to mention first. Is if you're new to doing some things, and listen, we've all been there, but you got to understand when you start any good thing, it requires investment. It requires financial investment, time investment, things like that. So jars are an investment.
Yep.
And they're expensive, and they're going up, and they're even they're not as prevalent either. So
sorry.
So when you see them, buy them.
Hey,
put out to
hey,
your family
yeah,
and ask them in
listen,
the shed if they
there
got any
are
in the shed.
there are elderly women out there. Let me tell you, I've been given jars from like 3 different elderly women. They're like, "Here, take them." I've been given jars from families. There are people that will give you jars.
Or people that don't want to can.
Right.
And I disagree with that, but that is God's blessing to you is and whether he chooses to hand these into your hand, there's loads of people preaching Christ is king and seeking dominion. Well, that's part of it, man. When they surrender
Yeah.
those things to you, it's a wonderful thing.
Well,
But it's an investment. Even if you have to make your purchases, understanding there are various qualities of jars. You do get what you pay for. The cheapos will bust and the lids will fold, and so
and that's one thing I wanted to
understand that.
I wanted to put in there real quick. Last year I did have issues with the cheaper lids. And I noticed a lot of people were having the same issues. So sometimes it does pay off to buy the name brand.
Yeah, get you some ball jars
Yeah,
or something
it does
that's
pay off
nice.
to buy the name brand lids. So just keep that in mind. Also, there's a lot of people that do not have the resources to have a garden, and I understand that. But here's your solution. There are so many people that I know personally that have an overabundance of vegetables and produce every single year.
But
Every year. And I know for a fact that they give food away. They will give produce away. You need to find some friends like that that will provide these resources so you can put back for your family. That is an option if you do not have the area for a garden or space or what have you.
Listen, canning's a lot of work, and your hands are welcome tools and helpers at the table.
Yep.
If you're one of those that it doesn't have the means or whatever, you're having trouble getting started, look, just come, show up, get in touch and say, hey, when is canning day? So I might learn a little something, but I'm going to put my hands to work. I'm going to pull those tomato skins or something, because it's all hands on deck.
Yep.
It takes your full day. Or whenever it's processing day of the chickens, we've been invited before, to say, hey, look, if you come help us give the chickens, and we'll give you however many of them, and that's always welcome, because it's a very busy day. And so just join in. A lot of times people look for these co-ops, and they look for programs that they can join into or organizations they can support. And really all of that is it's neat, but it's really on an idea that's just capitalizing on what should be naturally occurring, that doesn't cost money, that doesn't stress you out with organization. It's something that you need to have friends. You need to seek out old people. Listen, they're and that's not, I'm not joking. We've had this conversation before about all of the knowledge that's been lost. There's history that's lost. There's knowledge, trades that are being lost.
Sadie.
Find the old people and ask them, what do you know? What do you know that I don't? And what do I most need? But you can do a number of things. Listen, Depression era thinking, and we're losing a lot of those people who have
been through that,
who have endured that sort of adversity. So when you have those people who remember their upbringing because of the impact upon their parents, or maybe they were raised with their grandparents, then those are perfect people to ask. But all those things, like we all save our grocery sacks, right?
Yeah.
We save our grocery sacks. Well, in that grocery sack, sure, it's a trash bag, but that grocery sack can be a flower pot. That grocery sack can be a storage container for roots and things. That grocery sack can collect water.
It has to be resourceful.
That grocery sack can, you can use it however you want. It can be used for filtration device if you understand what you're trying to accomplish. But you got to understand everything around you, and it's just like learning the foods that you can eat in the ground, and that's a lot of work. And people don't realize there's some things they say. I don't think a homegrown heirloom carrot is this way, but normally carrots are like a negative calorie food. It burns more calories to digest than it does to take them in. I love carrots, but I understand I'm not going to stay alive on carrots. So learning those things, but having that resourcefulness, and And part of
Well,
the
I wanted
reality
to.
is we don't need the things that we think that we
Right.
need.
And so that's kind of part of my focus on this video, is that people are starting to realize there are many things they don't need, and they're going back to being resourceful and seeking the things that they know are important. And so I kind of wanted to discuss what are some things that we did when you were laid off,
So,
to get through a financial situation,
all
because
right.
I think a lot of people are already in that, or they're going to be in that
these
in
are
the next few
things
months.
that
And we're gonna have to make it quick, because I mean
storms
it's
coming
coming.
in. Y'all see? So check it out.
I don't know if you can.
I don't know if y'all can tell. This is a beauty, man. Being able to watch a storm roll in and see.
So real
see
quick.
So real quick, and I'm going to give you my hot take. Now take this as fresh experience, not as financial advice. Firsthand, yeah.
And not financial advice.
So
yeah.
the thing is, so I'm not telling you what to do.
Well, let's do the backstory.
Well, which one?
Well, I'm just gonna just when we first got married, you were laid off within a few months.
Yeah.
A couple of months of us getting married, I found out I was pregnant.
Right.
But what
so
did you do prior to that being laid off?
Well, I mean, I worked in an aluminum smelter.
Yeah, but you paid up our house payment.
Right. So she's talking about financially. So let's get off of the garden things. Let's talk about money in the bank, money in your pocket. You got some resources. So first things first, right? You've got to eat. The Lord, in His providence, promises us who are faithful food, raiment, and clothing. Now that doesn't always. That can be acquired as a slave. So don't misunderstand when I'm talking about ownership or something like that. However, so take first your money first and think, what will I need? I would advise, or in what we have personally done this time, having gone through it before, is we said, well, first, before we worry about the budget and everything, we cut the budget. So, and listen, I'm going to tell you a cool little hint. I made a practice early on calling every single provider I had, okay? Maybe if the Lord hasn't drawn you to give up the TV yet, but you can call your provider, and your conversation can go something like this. Listen, my service is great. I am a satisfied customer, and I'm thankful for what you all are doing. However, the economy has changed, and as a family, we're looking at our budget, and we're trying to make cuts. This one is on the chopping block. Tell me, is there anything that you can do, or why I shouldn't just cut this service altogether? And I'm telling you, maybe not 100% of the time, but almost every time, they will come up with something. They may either lower your bill, they'll say, well, oh, we've got this satisfied customer discount. They'll pull it out of thin air, and they will help you because they do not want to lose your service. And we're already seeing reports of stations that do that. So make your cuts and ask them in good faith. Don't make up excuses. Don't try to break things or get things for free. You're getting a service. Ask them. Tell them. Be real with them, and they will follow through. So the next thing, when you cut what you can, then look at what is your means of survival. Think food. Think those things that keep. What do I mean? So canned goods are great. Dry beans are even better. Dry beans, rice, and grains, as long as you understand how to store them, and
start now.
And
like
start
if you haven't,
storing.
if you have not started already, start now, because in the next month or so,
yeah,
I don't think that many are going to be able to afford to put back.
Get your food and get your things it takes to preserve food, keep food, grow food. It's an investment. Flower pots are reused. Watering cans are reused. They're tools, shovels and hoes and jars. All of that's an investment. It's with you for years if you take care of it. So invest that way, because there could be time later where you don't have. And frankly, guys, if you're one, it is difficult. If you're a landlord, it's difficult to evict someone. If you've got a family and it's your primary residence, the Lord is gracious in our country and has been on this nation founded founded on and who worships the one God. And so worry about your house last. But so once you feel like you've got a head start, and it could be investing in classes or partnering with people, spending gas money to go and learn from someone else. But now we're looking at your budget again. So we say, well, I'm trying to store up, but look, man, bills got to be paid. You're right. So if you have a little bit of money, now the normal good financial practice is to put on principal. What this does is it lowers your obligation, your borrowed money, and so it does therefore lower your interest. It doesn't pay it up. You pay all that you can on your principal, and that is, if you're early in a mortgage, that's dollar for dollar on what it saves you in interest. However, in our experience, I did something that was against the advice of our lending institution. They thought, why aren't you putting this on principal? But what we did and experienced great blessing is we took what resources we had and we made entire payments. So that is to say if your payment, I don't know, let's say your payment's $400, $500. I understand a lot of house payments are a lot more than that, but so say a $500 house payment and you've got money that you can save up or something. If you get an extra house payment, don't put that $500 on principal. Go in and make the next payment. So this is May, make June's payment. And then so when June comes around, that payment is then July's. And when you have that extra payment, or when taxes come in, or whatever, make the next month's payment. And my goal during one of our periods of hardship was to pay those things up through the end of the year. And so we did that and paid it up. And we did this even on an unemployment stipend. And there are helps to do if you do find yourself in a situation like that. But then also, you can do this with your water bill. You can do this with your electric bill. You can do it $1 at a time. But you can pay in excess and then budget out and think, what can I put on my water bill? Can I put $200 on my water bill and not pay a water bill for the rest of the year? Thinking that way. If you can pay your bills through the end of the year, then you can sit on it. Then you can sit back
and if something does happen, you have that breathing room.
You can acquire the resources that you need. And so here's the happy ending, if you will. It wasn't our last hardship.
Yeah.
We paid our house payment up. I was laid off for just under 1 year. I took another job after 9 months. Well, initially I was a welder by trade. So what we talked about is we said, well, and my dad's a Boilermaker, and a darn good one too. So I already knew, hey, the economy doesn't turn around. We'll go over the road after the first of the year. We were married, we were pregnant, and so that was our discussion. We did what I just told you we did financially, and then so we were able to save. We saved enough money. We were scared to death, didn't want to spend a lot of money as far as travel. I wanted to be available. I wanted to look for work. But we took a vacation. We took our honeymoon, because it was actually right after we got back from our honeymoon that I got the news of the layoff. But we went and spent a day in Gatlinburg, a couple days. And what a blessing in a time of layoff that the Lord would give us such provision, because He does not call us to worry. He doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of sound mind. So that's what we did. We enjoyed it. And after the first of the year, by then, in December, we had our eldest son. And we never spoke. We never spoke about our work situation.
No.
There was just quiet resolve there's the first few raindrops, we timed it perfect. We had quiet resolve to just remain home. Mm-hmm. After the first of the year, the time came, and like clockwork, there came the first job. For less money, I don't know I made any more than unemployment, but I took the work. And I worked the weekend, even going into the layoff. And two, just to make a point, there is good work. The week I got laid off, I had worked overtime, and I put on a tool belt the very next week. I modified farm equipment, took up welding, and I bid some jobs. So I wasn't entirely without work. So listen, and I'm going to tell you something. So when we talk about investments, this is why it's important. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, you should do trades. You should do trades." This is another area where I think we've experienced some resolve. You can judge me for it all you want to. As the patriarch of this household, I won't fund this liberal education. My children are free to make these decisions whenever they're reliable and act as adults and autonomous entities under my household and care. I'm not subjecting them. Why would I fund doing that? It presents a conflict of interest. Some of these ruinous things that are going on at these universities. So think about that. Think about what inheritance are you leaving your children, if not a trade, something they could provide for their family, they could work without fear. And where I'm at, folks, this is a huge problem because we're industry rich. People don't know how to think about providing for themselves without insurance or purchasing their own insurance. Listen, they do it every day. There's loads of options. So, but at the end, so those are some pointers. Those are things that we did. Think about your diets. Think about what you're doing. And listen, everyone says, oh, it's expensive to eat healthy. That's dead wrong. It's expensive if you go, it's kind of like the program things. It's cheap to learn how to do everything. It's free. If you've got a grandma or somebody else's grandma, it's expensive when you start investing in these programmatic schemes. So it's the same with food. If you think you're going to buy Marie Calendar meals, yeah, you're going to go broke, and then you're going to go hungry.
That was actually something that I listened to this morning. Tyson is having issues. Tyson is having financial issues, and they're seeing a drop in the sales of like their pre-made meals.
Right.
So these pre-made meals are expensive.
Yeah.
And people are realizing that they can no longer afford to buy them for their household.
So understand, take advantage of it. It's a time where you can simplify your diet. When you're eating things out of your own garden, fertilized with manure, not chemical.
Make it a goal.
And you're barefoot and you're breathing deep.
This is my goal this year is to eat a majority, and this is my goal. I'm not going to say that we're going to be successful, but I want to eat most of my meals from things that we have put back this year. So that's what I'm going to do. That not only helps our health, but it's also, I think, going to help financially as well. Sure. As prices continue to increase.
But these are tried and true methods. This is what I think you may have seen posts that talk about Liberty Gardens. Victory Gardens. We've seen them. You can go to war history museums. You can talk to those grandparents. Man, this is what countries, nations endorse and popularize.
So let me tell you, last year, I'm going to sit down real quick. My knees are killing me in my back. So last year, I wanted to plant some butternut squash. I didn't have the area to do it in around here. But I had a friend that offered a small space on her farm, and so that's what I did. And I actually have butternut squash that is still sitting in my pantry from last year. And that may be another option for you if you do not have the space. I have somebody else that I know that doesn't have a space for a garden, but she's got a friend that has space, and she has already planted her garden this year on their property. That is also an option. And like Vance said, if you feel the need to have a garden and you want to learn these things, I guarantee you have a friend that would love to have you help. Let me tell you, in the middle of the summer when the weeds are crazy, it's hard to keep a garden weeded. And so I'm constantly saying many hands make light work.
But and this is the plague, and is that we've been there many times where the vines are full of green beans, they're or full of tomatoes or something else. You say, listen, man, I've got all you can eat. If you like fresh produce, we've got you covered. Just come right out here and pick it. It's all you got to do. And they will not come. If you're willing to come, God is incredibly gracious in the fellowship of His people, and there's always a place for you. There is not, there's no place for an undue
Sorry,
fear.
my arm is getting tired.
Well, here, Rachel's over here being our telephone stand. So let's just do that.
So we're going on 30 minutes. There's one more thing that I want to bring up.
Okay.
So yesterday, Naylee and I spent the morning out in our garden that we have not tilled yet. So volunteer plants, we have them come up regularly every year, whether it be tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, pumpkins, herbs. I always make it a habit to go out in my garden and to make sure that I pull those volunteers. So when Vance goes to till, he doesn't destroy them, and I can go back and and plant them. So that might be an option for you as well, and will save you money in the end.
Saves
right?
you money instead of
In
buying those
time.
seeds. And listen, flowers too. Flowers, man. You find the pretty flowers, man. You can replant them or whatever. Where maybe you had something last year to save you. Because listen, beautifying your garden is part of it. You should enjoy it. You should enjoy your garden space. And the flowers attract the pollinators. Are you trying to get out of it?
Well, you're the one talking.
I wasn't the one making a video here.
Well, so we're going on 30 minutes. I'm trying to cap it at 30 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we are having, we have a busy morning. We still have a few things to do. So we just wanted to hop on here and say a few things that are coming to our mind this week. And so we hope that you have a productive week as usual. Think about these things. Plan for the future. Think along the lines of for your family and things like that. So
yeah. One great tool if you're looking for a book, just come out, Rory Groves, The Family Economy. You'll probably hear us give mention to that. I really think that it's a formative book for our generation. Very small. It can be read in an hour and a half, and it even has some practical surveys to assess so that as a family you can sit down and find out what each one of your strengths are, where your giftedness is, and how you can be productive and build an economy. An economy is not money. Money is like coupons, but
so just begin to live intentionally and continue to put back. Think about the things that are happening right now and the way that you can provide for your family for the future. So I hope you all have a great day. I know that we are expecting some severe weather today and tomorrow, so everybody stay safe. Keep an eye on your farm or your homestead, and we'll see you on the next video.